Hello everyone, this is Aiden Brady. I'm here to give you yet another video describing inventory management in Mechanism version 5.6. I thought the last one would be the last one, but I got a bunch of great suggestions and I decided I would put them in action, and here is a video to show them off. To get started, we have a simple setup here with two chests, a logistical sorter, and some logistical transporters. You'll notice that there's two new options here on the interface. There is this automatic feature and this button here, and then there's a default color slot. And pretty self-explanatory for the color slot, but auto mode, how this works, by default now, if you have an item in the inventory, it will not be ejected unless auto mode is on, or there is a filter for it, because filters always take priority over automatic mode. So if we put an item stack filter in here for, and I'll get to this in a second, for gold ore, and we set it to the dark green, and we click save, it will output this as, because we have a filter there defined for this gold ore. But otherwise, it will not output any other item unless this automatic mode is on. So if we were to set this to dark blue, turn this on, there we go, it would output, because we now have automatic mode, and it is defined as dark blue as the default outputting color. Pretty simple. So if this was off, though, once again, this would not output because it does not have a defined filter for it. If we deleted this filter and we had this outputting, here we go. See, it outputs now because it has a filter. But if we were to delete this filter, put in a new item, it is not going to output. Pretty simple, but also pretty useful. Now, part 2 is some new machine inventory mechanics I've added in, and you'll see this in the configuration option. It's been redesigned a bit. It now has input, output, and slots here to make it a bit easier to see which things do which. And I think I went over the output color last time. I'll go over this again just in case I didn't go over it in enough detail. But we now have this input option, and this I will get to in just a second. First, I'm going to get some items ready to be sent in here, which looks like we already have. And I will set a new filter here for gold ore, and we will make this dark aqua, and we'll click save. There we go. Alright, so we now have this in here, and this right here, so as soon as this has a viable place to go, it will be sent into the enrichment chamber, and of course this is the viable place to go. The only thing we have to do is configure this to be red, and this will be outputted here as dark aqua into the enrichment chamber. Alright, pretty self-explanatory, and I'm going to get myself some energy here. And go into the configuration option. What does this do? Looks pretty complicated, doesn't it? Well, it is not that complicated. These do not map to the colors on the slots like these do. These map to actually what colors the sides can accept as in terms of logistical transporters emitting items. So if this were set to dark blue, this would not be able to accept items from this side, because it can only accept items from dark blue. It took me quite some time to put this together, but I think this is great. I can see some great things being put together with this. So if we bring something, because we had dark aqua as the default color over here, but see, we have dark aqua for the filter. If we set this to dark aqua, it will be able to accept items. Just like that, because we now can accept dark aqua items from this side. And now it can't, because I just broke it. I did not mean to do that. Some energy. And put this in here. And as soon as this recalculates, as soon as it reaches the end, this will be put inside of the slot. And it did not, because we forgot to reconfigure. Okay, dark aqua, come on, you can do it. What's wrong now? Oh, it's not red. Okay, well this is good because you're seeing more mechanics of the logistical transport system, and it gets put in, just like that, because it accepts red, red slot right here, and we have this as dark aqua, so it can accept dark aqua items. By default, it is all going to be set to none. If it is none, it can accept from any color, including no color. So an item here that was put into it with no color, such as iron ore, because we have no explicit filter for item iron ore, it should be ejected when auto's on. Actually, it will be put as dark blue, but it will be put inside because we have this set to none. If we set this dark blue, though, notice that the iron ore will be able to go through, but not the gold ore. So notice the gold ore won't, but as soon as you put the iron ore in, that will be ejected, because we have this set to dark blue as a default outputting color, and we have this only accepting dark blue for the side. So honestly, I'd recommend keeping this to none. And this is coming through now because we had it set to dark aqua a second ago. Alright, and it's set to none, so this should be able to come through. There we go. So, logistical transport now even better with these configurable input color sides. And this does not, of course, modify the slot thing. This still works the exact same as before. Auto eject mode. Put this on. I already showed you auto eject mode, but I will show you now the output mode, because I don't think I went into complete detail about output colors. So if we have a chest here, not a trap chest, a regular chest, not charcoal. There we go. And we make all these dark blue. When this is trying to process ores, it will not be able to automatically eject, even if auto eject is on. So you'll see it come through here, and nothing will happen because these are all dark blue, and this is trying to output as a null color. If we set this to dark blue, though, as soon as this is done processing, it will be able to eject as dark blue into the blue logistical transport network and put into this chest. There we go. So, we have configurable inputs, configurable outputs, and configurable slot colors, so we can... My machines are now very configurable, which is kind of the goal of the configuration system, which I started putting together a few months ago. And there is one final feature that I would like to go over, and that is maximum and minimum stack sizes for outputting with the logistical sorter. And just to demonstrate this, what I will do, we will keep this item filter for ores here. We're going to go to turn off auto mode. We can set this back to normal. Alright, and right here, you'll notice on the side here we have minimum, maximum, and this S button, which stands for size. And the size basically defines the size of the stack that's being outputted. You can set, as soon as this is on, you'll notice that nothing will happen as soon as we put an item in here. Actually, something did happen because we forgot to save. But if this were saved and we put an item in, you will notice that nothing would happen. Because it is trying to output with a minimum of 0, which is being met here because we have 64, and 64 is greater than 0, but only a maximum of 0. So it is looking for 0 items, and because looking for 0 items, it's not going to output anything. If we were to set this to 1, if I could get this to set to 1, click save, it will start outputting at 1 item each time it goes around. And it will meet these qualifications here. It has a minimum of 0 and a maximum of 1, and everything will be put into this chest. There we go. Now we can bump this up. We can bump this up to 2. And it will now start outputting at 2 items. And we've gone through the whole system, just like that. And I hope you kind of understood what was happening there. But I will go into minimum now, just to show you in a bit more detail. We can set the minimum to whatever we want. We can set the minimum to 2, we can set it to 4, as long as it is less than the maximum. So if I tried to save this, it would say maximum is less than minimum. And of course that's not going to work because you can't have a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 2. We can set this to 8 though. 8 is a possible combination. Alright. And inside of here we have 4 and 8 and all as well. So what we can do is we can go into this chest here, and if we put in 1 item, nothing could happen. 2 items, nothing will happen. 3, nothing will happen. This is because we have defined 4 as the minimum. So let's put another item though. It will function because it has reached its quota for minimum item ejection, and it'll be put into this chest just like that. Alright, now for maximum, the maximum is 8. So basically what this means, if it has a stack of 5, and I'll put together a little stack of 5, it's going to try to get the number closer to the maximum, but it cannot take an item that has a minimum that is less than this right here. Let me get rid of this little thing there. Alright, so if we put in this 5, it would take a 5 right away, because it's trying to get the number closest to the maximum. But if we were to put in 3, nothing will happen, because the maximum is defined. and the minimum is defined as 4. It's pretty simple, but this can get really advanced as soon as you have a nice sorting system, and you have machines doing what you want them to. So we can go in here, and you can change this to whatever you want. When it is off, it will just eject whatever it can. So, well, considering that we save, it will just eject whatever it can. Whatever stack it sees, whatever the first stack is, it'll spit that out. But you can use the maximum minimum setting by clicking that S on a filter to configure that to be on or off. And I will go in a bit of more detail here about this fancy algorithm I wrote that makes this work. So we're going to set this to be on high so that nothing happens. And we'll go in here, and we have this at 4 and this at 8, so that's good. We'll click Save. We'll set the section to 4 too. So it's minimum, maximum 4. So it can only take stacks of 4. Save. Alright? And we'll actually click this on. There we go. If we have 4 items in a row like this, or in completely random items in the chest, and we also have other items here that are messing up our system, it'll merge together all the items that it can in the chest in order to make the quota filled. It took all 4 items from those locations in the chest and stuffed them into here. That is pretty neat in my opinion. So if we'll set this to off again. If we have 5 items like this, or 7 items, and it'll only take 4 going from the bottom to top. So it'll go like this, then like this, then like this. It'll take the first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and ignore these 3. And I will prove this by turning this on. You will notice that it ignored these 3, and it went down and only took those 4, and took them and put them into this chest. There we go. Alright, and I mean, that's honestly all there is to it for the most part. You can set this to 64 if you want. Of course, it can't be greater than 64. And we click Save. This means it'll only accept full stacks. So if we put in a full stack, it'll work, but otherwise it'll not. Anything else will not work, but as soon as we reach a full stack, even if it's not part of the exact same item stack, it will work. So we're down to, this was originally 64. I keep placing out random items here. Eventually, it will reach what it needs. There we go, and we'll spit it out. And it looks like it did, we didn't get an update there when it did. Alright, so everything's being spitted out, and we can place in as many as you want, and it will eject when it can. There we go. So, it's very, very complex mechanics, but it's I'm hoping it's going to be pretty easy for you guys to understand the system. And that's about it. And just to show you here, 1 and 64, this is what would happen. It would pretty much just eject whatever combination it had of gold, or let's get that. If we place in gold, random pattern, notice it spit it all out as that giant stack. It's trying to get to 64. Let's say we had this chest here again, and we had, how about one here, one here, one here. There we go. It's just going to eject those stacks like that. If we had 2, we'll stack the 2 together and send them out into this chest. So, there you have it. That is pretty much inventory mechanics in Mechanism version 5.6, and if you guys have any other suggestions, I will gladly take them into account. I can't promise I'll put them in, because I have a lot of other things I'm working on now aside from inventory management for this new update, but if I think it is really cool, I will definitely add it in, and I'll make another video describing how it works. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you're also enjoying playing with Mechanism version 5.6. Just to clear something up, someone was wondering where he could get these builds that I'm pushing out here. And I try to push, well, I push a lot. I push like 5 builds per day. But every time I push this commit to GitHub, well, a commit that I do, it'll be pushed to the Jenkins, which is directly linked to the Mechanisms link on universalelectricity.com. So you can go there and you can get all the latest builds, and it'll include everything that's in this video right now. And anytime I add something new, you can just go to the download page, download that link, and you'll get the features I've been working on. So that is pretty much all I have to say, and I will leave you guys be, and hope you enjoyed this video, and have a nice day.